Folks, it's football season, hunting season, fall, and all of those good things that come along with it. The weather change, the cooling of the temperatures. The only bad thing about this time of the year is the stinking flies. That's why we're filming inside today for the most part, but we will be cooking outside because we just can't get enough barbecue. We're going to be doing chicken wings. Now, those have been hard to find lately. Chicken wings have been kind of a commodity that is at peak in demand and not a whole lot of supply. So if you are finding them, you're paying quite a bit. But we're going to go ahead and cook us some wings up today, and I made some mango habanero sauce to go with them, and because that's my favorite wing flavor to get from places like Buffalo Wild Wings, Wingstop, and other places like that. So I'm going to show you how to make some sauce. We're going to fire up the Weber slow and sear kettle and get these on. Before we get into seasoning up these wings, getting them on the grill, we want to go ahead and make our sauce. Now, I actually like to make my sauce about a day before, just so those flavors can merge together in the refrigerator overnight. And all we did with this particular sauce is pretty much make a infused simple syrup. We started off 3 cups of water into a pot. We got that to a rolling boil and added 3 cups of sugar. To that, we added 1 cup of diced mangoes and 10 de-seeded, rough chopped habaneros. We let those boil down for approximately 5 to 10 minutes. At that point, we turned it down to a simmer for another 10 minutes. And from there, we extracted all of the solids. So the mangoes and the habaneros, we extracted out. And we placed those into a food processor where we got them down to a consistency that I am okay with. You can use an emulsifier to make it really creamy, or you can leave it really chunky, or you can take them out altogether. It's really up to you. This, by the way, is a really good start to making a mango habanero pepper jelly as well. So we get those chopped up in the food processor, and then we add it back to the combination, and we really cook it down for another 10 more minutes on medium-low heat, just to get that water cooked out of there a little bit more till it's the consistency or viscosity that you prefer. Then I place those in clean and sanitized canning jars and put them into the refrigerator overnight to let those flavors come together. We start off with our chicken on a pan like this. I prefer them to be on something like this so they can breathe. And then I can go through like I just did and pick some of those hairs, maybe that the butcher's missed there at the killing house, and get those off, because while they'll probably cook off, which I know they will, by the way we're going to sear them, it just gives me a little bit of peace of mind that I'm not eating chicken feather. And once we do that, I like to pat them. Just give my meat a nice little dry off, and then we'll flip it over, do it again, and this allows me to really inspect my meat, so I'm not surprised when I flip it over after I'm already seasoning it, or halfway through a cook, when I see something that kind of jumps out at me. Like, I know this big old flap right here is going to cook faster than everything else, so I'll keep that a little further from the fire. Now, you could trim that off, but game day food, campfire food, camping, hunting, fishing food, I'm really not worried about being that perfect. I want it to taste amazing, and I want people to enjoy it, but I want to be able to enjoy my time as well. Alright, so we've got our meat nice and patted dry. To that, we're going to take our MeatChurch Holy Gospel barbecue rub. This is kind of like their holy cow and gospel mixed together. It's a little bit pepper heavy, and I absolutely love it. It gives great color to chicken. It's made for beef, but it's really a great all-purpose barbecue rub. We're going to get a good coat on all of this because we are going to be cooking this for about an hour, maybe a little longer total cook time, and those flavors are really going to change as they cook that long and rub off on the grates and things like that. So we're going to get these coated rather nicely, and we're going to let these sit just like this for about 5 to 10 minutes. Now, for video's sake, I'm going to go ahead and flip them over and do the other side, and again we'll let it sit for 5 to 10 minutes, and we'll go outside and get our slow and sear kettle started up. I like to leave these covered in the fridge while they rest for that 10 minutes each time, just so we're not taking the risk of getting anybody sick later on. Another good coat, and then off to the fridge they rest while we get our fire started. This does two things. It allows the flavors to seep in, but it also allows it to dry out the skin, the exterior of these chickens, and build what they call the pellicle. And that's going to really allow us to get a nice and crisp finish when we sear these off over the flame. So let's head outside, let's get the grill started up, and let's get this ready for our chicken wangs. Chicken wing, hot dog and bologna. Our fire is ready, and threw a little bit of hickory chips in there. Our chicken has created a nice little pellicle, and it's ready to get thrown down on the fire. Now we're going to put this on the side away from the fire, on the slow side, and make sure that we have enough room between all the pieces to have some good convectional cooking going on. We don't want to get it too close to the actual sear side, but we're going to have to use quite a bit of this grill space because these are quite large wings. We'll check on these every 15 to 20 minutes and see how often we need to spin them so that we can keep that good color all the way around, but also ensure even cooking and heating. Once these are up to right around 165 degrees, which is safe for chicken, we'll flip them over onto the sear side and get that nice crisp finish to them. I actually prefer my wings to be up around 185, 190 when they finish out because they taste so much better. It's pretty hard to dry out wings when you're watching them closely. We're going to get this shut up, vent facing the opposite from the slow and sear to really set an environment for that convectionary heating, smoking, and cooking process. We've got our bottom vents open all the way. We're going to open these almost all the way, a little more than 3/4 of the way full, so that we can make sure that we keep heat right around 400 degrees inside our smoker. I'll see you back when we flip them, probably 20-30 minutes. Approximately 25 minutes have gone by, and let's go ahead and take a look at the color and the doneness of this chicken and see if it's ready to go ahead and get flipped over. Oh yeah, so take a look at that color. It's got a nice reddish mahogany look started to it, and look at that color. It's got that nice mahogany reddish tone to it, and it's really showing the great convection of this Weber. And so what I'm going to do is I'm going to hit it with just a little bit of Pam, a little vegetable oil before we flip it, and then as soon as we flip it, we'll hit it with some more as well. Now there's no need to move these from one side or the other because of the convection in this grill. It is really staying evenly cooking, evenly heated, and the water in the water pan is doing its job as well to keep nice and even heat low. So we're going to give this side a little bit of heat and color as well, and let it go for another 25-30 minutes before we get them switched over to the direct heat side and get them seared off. These have been on for just under 1 hour, and I've already probed them and taken a look at them, and they look amazing, but they're also probing right around 165 to 170 degrees depending on which ones that I'm taking. Now what I'm going to do now is, because these are fully cooked, is I am going to go ahead and take some off for the kiddos to eat because they don't necessarily like mango habanero because they're 3 and 5 years old. But I am going to leave quite a few on here for myself to enjoy. Take all off but 5. And then for our searing portion, we're going to flip them back over, put them over that hot section of the coals just for a few moments. We're really not going to leave them on there very long because we want just a sear. We don't want to burn them or anything like that. We're just going to let these sear for just a few minutes. I'm actually going to close this lid for 2 minutes, flip them over, and do the same. We pulled these off the sear, we moved them over to the indirect heat side, and we're glazing these up with this wonderful mango habanero infused sauce, simple syrup if you will. And we just want light coats every 5 minutes, twice on each side, on the indirect heat side, so we get some layers of flavor and this sauce really set on there and cooked into those layers. So we're going to do this until it's completely finished. 2 more times on the other side, get them inside and take a taste. The time we've all been waiting for, we actually get to taste these things. I did add just a little bit of a dusting of our holy gospel to the top of these and some chives because I think green onions are absolutely delicious. They pair well with barbecued wings. Anyways, so let's go ahead and break. I like to break the knuckle off of the flats just like that. Dip it in there. Take a bite. Get those bones clean. Another dip. Perfectly cooked. Crisp on the outside. Delicious sweet heat kick as soon as you take it in. As you eat, that holy gospel, peppery, salty, savory kicks in, and then that habanero hangs around also to the end of the party to kind of give you that extra kick in the back of your throat. Absolutely delicious. I'm gonna try one without any ranch. Just take a regular bite out of it. Smoky, sweet, hot, savory. It can't be beat. You can't get better wings than this. Absolutely amazing. This is delicious, guys. I hope you try it for yourself at home. This was our mango habanero wings done on the Weber Kettle. Buffalo Wild Wings style wings at home for you for this football season, hunting season, whatever season. It's getting fall, and food like this is what's in. Go outside and cook something. I love you guys. Drink more water. So good.